Hi friends, welcome back. Today I wanted to make another book review video. I really like these and I think the first one went pretty well, so we'll just do it again and see if you guys like it. I have some more books. Obviously I have lots of books to talk about. Some of these I haven't read. These two sections over here, my husband's, I haven't read those. But some of these over here are my books too, so we have plenty to talk about. I'm going to start with this one. It's called Britt Marie Was Here. It's by Fredrik Backman, and this was a really, really good book. It was also made into a movie, which I haven't watched yet. I think it's in a different language. I think it's in Swedish, because I believe he's Swedish. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. This is one of those books that I read really quickly. And it was one of those where it was really easy to like dive in my head visualize like the story, like I was like in a movie in my mind. I don't know, does anyone else do that when they read? It's like very easy, if the book is good, for me to like visualize it. But this was definitely one of those books. I can read a little bit in the back to see if it sounds interesting to you. Britt Marie can't stand a mess, but that's exactly what her life has become, leaving behind an unfaithful husband and a lifetime of taking care of everyone before herself. She moves to the backwater town of Borg for a job looking after a crumbling recreation center, the favorite hangout town of the town's supremely untalented children's soccer team. With her strict views about all things from the proper arrangement of the cutlery drawer to the appropriate time to wake up, Britt Marie knows exactly how those things around her should live their lives, and she isn't shy about sharing her opinions. But hidden inside the socially awkward, fussy, busy woman is a woman who has more imagination, bigger dreams, and a warmer heart than anyone around her realizes. So you start out the book and you almost like don't like Britt Marie because she seems like so stuck up and just like she almost like has like a dry personality, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but just like very proper and just like not really fun. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know about this book. But at the end you're just in love with her and you like want to meet her in real life, and she's so wonderful. And the children's soccer team has like somewhat of a wide variety of ages. And again, at first glance, you have certain thoughts about these kids, but then when she warms up to them, oh my gosh, it's so sweet, and just how the story unfolds between them, and it's just really sweet to see how the kids like got into her heart, and she just opened up, and you find out how she really is on the inside, and how that was just like a friend for her. But yeah, I really like this book. It's really good. Give it a shot. And yeah, I'm gonna watch the movie too. I keep putting that off for some reason, but this book was really, really, really good. So highly recommend. The next one is, I feel like this book's like kind of well known, but The Four Agreements. It's really good. It's one of those books that I've read a few times, and it's like you can just like easily like open page 25 and just like read about it, you know. It's like not like a story book in that sense. And it's good, and it's like little. It only has 140 pages. And the font is pretty big too, so it's easy to read. But like I said, it's one of those where you can like read over and over again, because it's like good to refresh on these things, especially if you're like having a hard time, you know. So let's read a little bit about it. Okay, so let's just like say what the four agreements are, and then like if that sounds interesting to you, then like you should read it. But if you're like not into any of this, like just skip this part. The four agreements are: be impeccable with your words, speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the words that speak against yourself or to gossip about others, use the power of your words in the direction of truth and love. The second one is don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. The third one is don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. With just one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And the fourth one is always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So it's just like such good ways to live your lives, and I feel like it's so easy to get caught up and just like forget about these, and that's why it's so important to like have this book and just like be able to like check back in on it, and like if there's a certain thing that you're going through that, you know, like don't take things personally, really resonates with you at that time, go through and read the chapter again, like, and just remind yourself, because it takes quite a while to like change the way your mind works and like thought patterns and, you know, just getting healthy. So yeah, this book was really good. It's just really helpful, and it's a good one. So check it out if that sounds something like you would want to read. And then the last one is Jodi Picoult Lone Wolf. Also, I know there's like this like huge thing about how you say her last name. I've watched many videos from her, specifically that her last name is Pico. But yeah, this is Lone Wolf. This was on my bookshelf for quite a while because it just like did not sound interesting to me at all, and I kept putting it off. And there's like pure satisfaction for me when I can like move a book, because like these books are my books that I haven't read yet, and then I move them over to the shelf that I've read. So it's like such a satisfaction to be able to like move it to this shelf. So I was like, all right, we got to get this book over there, and it was such a good surprise of how good it was. I'm so bad at just like looking at a book and like, that doesn't sound interesting to me, and then I read it and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I thought this way about this book. So I guess as silly as it sounds, don't judge a book by its cover, as simply as that. Also, I love look how cute that is. But I'll read like I'll read a little bit from the book itself and then kind of talk about it. In the wild, when a wolf knows its time is over, when it knows it is of no more use to its pack, it sometimes chooses to slip away. Dying apart from its family, it stays proud and true to its nature. Humans aren't so lucky. Luke Warren has spent his life researching wolves. He has written about them, studied their habits, and even lived with them for an extended period of time. In many ways, Luke understands wolf dynamics better than his own family. His wife Georgie has left him, finally giving up on their lonely marriage. His son Edward, 24, fled 6 years ago, leaving behind a shattered relationship with his father. Edward understands that some things cannot be fixed. The memories of his demurring father still inflict pain. Then comes a frantic phone call. Luke has been gravely injured in a car accident with Edward's younger sister, Cara. Suddenly, everything changes. Edward must return home to face the father he walked out on at age 18. He and Cara have decided their father's fate together. Though there's no easy answer, questions abound. What secret have Edward and his sister kept from each other? What hidden motives inform their need to let their father die or to try to keep him alive? What would Luke himself want? How can any family member make such a decision in the face of guilt, pain, or both? So this book is a heavy one, but it's really good. You learn more in depth about Luke's life and like why he chose to spend more time with wolves, and you get to learn about his time with wolves, and it's super interesting. And she did a lot of research writing this book about wolves. And I believe that there's a man who she got what's the word from? There's a man in real life, kind of like Luke, who has lived with wolves and whatnot. I don't remember. No, his name isn't in here. But if you Google it, I'm sure it'll pop up. And how much of real life has come from the story of Luke. It's super interesting. And of course, just family dynamic is always so interesting, and as to what someone interprets one way, another family member will interpret a different way. But yeah, it's really good. There's a lot of different parts of it, and different timelines, which I think is always fun. And I think if a book is written well, the timelines are easy to follow, which this is definitely one of those books. So yeah, that sounds interesting to you, to try it. It's really good. And it's different than anything I've read before, which is always fun to do too. So yeah, I think that is it. So if those 3 books sound interesting to you, hopefully they do, check them out and stay tuned for the next one of these videos. Gross. All right, thanks, guys. Bye bye.